Hey YouTube, so today I'm going to be doing a fall tutorial, and in this it's going to be pretty simple with a little bit of shimmery makeup. To start, I am going to be using my retinol wipes just to clean my face so it's all ready to go. Kind of spent a little bit on this, and the product I'm starting off is the Age Perfect Cell Renewal by L'Oreal. This just adds a little bit of moisture to my face. Since it's becoming a little drier in these months, it helps my skin kind of bounce back. I just apply this all over and all over my neck, and make sure it's very well blended because it is pretty oily. I go through with my NYX Pore Filler. This acts as a primer. You can use it before or after your foundation. I find it works better when I use it prior to my foundation. So I just blend that all over. And down the neck as well, since that's where I'll also be blending some makeup. And so the foundation I'm using primarily is the Dream Liquid Mousse by Maybelline in shade 70. I believe it is Beige Natural, but I will link that for you all. But it is number 70. So I like to apply first with my fingers just to get an idea of where I'm applying and whatnot. And so I like to follow up with my oval brush. I got that one from Ross. I just go through and blend all over. But it's a two-step process for me. I normally start out with the oval brush just to make sure everything has the same amount of thickness, and that's when I follow up with my beauty blender. This just gets out anything that would look smeary. So I'm using just a little bit of my NARS. Since I'm almost out, I'm babying it since it's quite expensive foundation. And I'm going through, it lightens up the foundation a little bit as well since it's a lighter shade, and just mattifies it to give it that finished look. Alright. And I will go back and clean my hands off since I don't want that foundation all over. And I'm following up with my NYX Dark Circle Concealer Corrector, and I believe that is in the lightest shade, but I'll get back to you guys on that. And I'm starting with this underneath my eyes since that is the darkest portion of my face. And I'm using my concealer brush by e.l.f. and then I'm following up with my Flower Concealer in B2, I believe. It's one of the medium shades. And so I go through and blend that all over those areas. And then for my contour, I'm using the BB Fresh in shade 140 Deep Sheer Tint. I'm using my small oval brush to go over my nose and area on my cheek that I want to appear thinner, and then also on my forehead. And it's not even, but when you blend, you can make it even. So at my forehead, it wasn't completely even or the same thickness, but it did blend out. And I'm using my Nudes by JJB, I believe, or JHB. I got the eyeshadow palette from Ross, but I'm using my Urban Decay Naked 2 brush with that. The palette was about $7.99, I believe, at Ross, so a very good price for an eyeshadow palette, especially for the pigment within. And you can see which shades I'm picking out of each. So a very neutral eyeshadow choice, but it goes very well with blue eyes. And I like to create kind of that angled look, and I just use that fan brush to get off the excess fallout. And I'm searching for, and that is my Coloricon by Wet n Wild eyebrow pencil in the shade Blonde. Started out with that. The labels kind of come off. It's not my favorite, but it's something I like to start with and add on to. I followed up with my e.l.f. in medium brown eyebrow palette. And I was struggling to do my eyeliner in the square little piece on my camera, so I proceeded to do that with my mirror. I used the products Wet n Wild and Black, their little liner, but I started with e.l.f. to get the basis. The Wet n Wild just darkened it up a little bit, and then I'm using the same brand as my eyeshadow palette I used earlier, and this came in a palette, or kind of, excuse me, not a palette, but a set with a nude and kind of a nude pink. So I'm letting everything dry before I continue. And this is where I'm touching back up with that darker liner, just so it appears more finished. I'm sorry you guys, my hair is a complete wreck. And with that, I'm just applying my mascara. I'll link you the brand, but it was in black. And so I was going back through with my eyebrows in the same palette to touch up. And I was going through and applying my second coat of mascara. No fake eyelashes here. And then with that set that I also got for my lips, I had gotten a highlighter that I used over my lips. And I'm blending my True Blend down onto my neck. Cleaning up my eyes a little bit. And this is kind of my point where I go back through and I see what is something that I can fix with my makeup, and I try to make it appear a little bit better. So I try to think of it as something a painter would do. You go back and make it look better if it's not what you want it to be. So the completed look is pretty good. My neck isn't as blended as I'd like it to be, but if you're wearing a sweater, it'll appear the same, and you'd rather have your neck match your face. Anyways, if you wear a scarf, that wouldn't be super noticeable. Part of it is also the way the light was reflecting onto my neck, because in the light you can see it's a pretty good match to my neck, to my chest. It's just kind of where it shadows that it's making my neck look a lot darker. But this is a look that you could go out with, or even just an everyday sort of thing. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, you guys. Bye.